In light of recent events, I'd like to make a video to explain a few details. Um, there has been many an occasion that I was the intended target for infatuation. Now, I'm no fool to think that when I walk in a room, guys, Daisy Dukes go whichever way. But I do have a confidence in my own self worth, and apparently that's attractive. Um, I think my fault is mostly that when I meet with male friends or have any kind of contact with them, I'm an empathic listener, compassionate, and take interest in what they have to say. Now, the thing that they mistake as a romantic interest and a genuine uh, courtesy and interest, yeah, that's it. So, this has happened many times, and quite a lot of the guys were kind of like me, so they had a development disorder, and it's not an excuse and it's not a generalization. These men really, I met them at this activity club, which is kind of fun, and I've been there for 6 years, almost 7, and in the last years I've made very good friends who know me and who see me as a very good friend. But the men who have this infatuation mistake that genuine interest and compassion, that stranger's compassion. I can have a conversation with a person I have absolutely no idea who is, and have an easier conversation with them than the boys who mistake my genuine compassion and interest for romantic interest. Okay, so the second time I'm going to say this, I am not interested and I'm not looking for any kind of relationship of the sorts. But these boys just mistake that sort of niceness for interests. And it's become so far that one of the boys, I'm going to call him a boy because this is really just a sort of emotion you expect with a child. Like when you say no to an unbalanced child, so I'm talking 5 or something, and you say no to something you usually say yes to, like playing with his Game Boy or something, and you say no, and their response is either aggressive, pleading, crying, tantrum, or bargaining. And the thing that happens with me is that these boys, either they accept that I don't see them that way and I am more likely to continue a friendship if they back off, or they are well aware of my feelings but disregard them. So that's also kind of very, very, very unkind, because this is the sort of nice guyness that Gravity Falls warned us about. This is literally I forgot his name, the little dude with the very big hair. That dude, I forgot his name. Good lord, he's not there for a season and he's completely slipped my mind. Um, who was well aware of Mabel's discomfort and her continued and getting worse and getting more pronounced way of saying no. And he chose not to listen. So that's the being utterly blind and ignorant to someone's feelings, and or just not knowing or not getting the hints or not understanding the hints. And there's seeing, understanding, and disregarding. So I'm not saying that their development issues are any kind of excuse for the kind of behavior they're doing, but we have this very neat piece of paper hanging in the hallway, and a set of house rules, if you will. And the very first two are respect the people and their boundaries and respect your environment. And they're very unwritten rules, but we wrote them down because people have difficulties remembering such things. They have a lot of fun remembering what kind of trains they like, but personal boundaries are a little bit more difficult, apparently. I'll make another video about this because it's a really interesting subject to talk about. But right now I'm on this one. So this guy, I'm just gonna tell the whole story. This guy has not only done this before, but it's starting to get weird. So in the past, he expressed some frustrations with his situation, and he had trouble with his girlfriend, and apparently his psychiatrist wasn't there for him. Whatever. And I said, if you need me to listen, or if you need a listening ear, I'll be happy to be that person. Only I'm not skilled in giving advice. And what's the first thing he does? He asks for advice. He asks me to give advice on a subject I have no experience in, and the way he's phrasing everything is quite unfair, because he's pitting me against this girl who I don't know the story of, and basically he's making her look like this psychotic, crazy person. And considering why we're at the activity club, it's kind of very much a jerk thing to do, because we're here for a reason, and we're here because of a condition that we can't change with a bag of pills. And for this person to still use the stigma of women being crazier or being some kind of mythical, untouchable thing on a pedestal. Yeah, okay, I'm not really happy with that. But then somehow he broke up with her, and then it got quiet for a while. Only his affections, or whatever kind of his attention, began to get weird. Okay, so I think the girls, especially some girls, would understand what I'm talking about. The guy gets weird. The kind of hugs he does gets weird. He goes out of his way to tell you what he's thinking, and even what he's thinking are actions that he wants to do, but he's voicing them because they're weird, right? Yeah, okay. The life of a woman. Good. I'm gonna get carried away. I've got a migraine right now, and it's on the right side of my face now, and usually it's on my left. So this is getting weird. I need to get an appointment. If they would pick up the phone, but they're not. Yeah, this is my boring phone. I used to have like this bright blue thing, but now it's just black and boring. And it's the same phone as my siblings, so it's really hard to know which one is which. Because we all have this one. So when one is laying on the table and you look away for a minute, you don't know which one is which. But yes. Weird kind of affections. Telling me he wants to kiss me and then saying it's weird, right? With a soulful stare that really unnerves me. And then blaming me for my shortcomings while I've said my boundaries and disrespecting them. And I am weary. I am so scared where I am right now with him because it feels like it's normal. It feels like the battle has gone, but it just feels like this is just the calm before the storm, and that's kind of worrying because in between I've had little moments, a little instance where I'm genuinely freaked out, and he does not seem to understand why I would feel that way or why I would want to feel that way. But yeah, there you have boys being inconsiderate. Or well, just in general, this boy being inconsiderate, and I'm cold, I'm getting shivery, being weird at me continuously, and it's a thing we deal with. We deal with these kind of things, and it's hard. It's yeah, it's hard. My name is Tiffy, and this has been my vlog.